open Photoshop and go to File, New. Under Preset, go to Default Photoshop Size. Name your file Pen Tool Practice. Pause the video and do this much. Click OK. And bring your toolbar over and your layers over and your paths over. So now we have the toolbar, the layers palette, and the paths palette. Pause your video and do this much and come back. Now we're going to use the pen tool. So on your toolbar, find the pen tool. When you hover over the tool, you can see that it says pen tool. Go ahead and click on it. You want to click up here in the top left corner of your canvas. Just click one time. You have now made a point. And you'll see that over here in your paths palette, you have now made a work path. So let's click on the other side of your canvas again, one time. Now you have 2 points and a path. So you have 2 points and a path in between them. Now click again in the bottom right. Now you have 3 points and 2 paths. Click again in the bottom left. Now you have 4 points and 3 paths. Now don't click right away up in the top point. Hover over it first and notice that you get a little circle. That little circle is telling you that you are about to close your path. So now go ahead and click on that first point and close your path. So now over here you can see your work path, and you can see that it gives you an idea of what the path looks like in the little icon. The path itself that looks like a layer, and it is a different color. Mine is blue, yours might be a darker blue, but it's a different color from the rest of the panel. That means the path is selected. When you click beneath it, your path is deselected and it does not appear anymore on your canvas. It is still there, you can see it's there, but it is deselected. So now we're going to click back on it and select it. Click off of it and deselect it. Click back on it and select it. Now let's look at your layers. Whenever you're working with paths, you need to have a layer to correspond with the path. What I like to do is to drag my path out and have the path panel right next to the layers panel. So let's look again a little bit more with the rectangle path. Right now, I have it selected. Now I have it deselected. And let's say I want to make another path. So I'm going to come over here with my pen tool and click one time. Immediately you see that my rectangle work path is gone. That's because in order to keep any paths, you have to save them. If you just continue working, that old path is going to go away. So I am going to edit undo And to save this path, we're going to now double click it, and we'll name it rectangle. Pause the video, do this much, and come back. Now, because we want it to work in our layers, we want to also name a new layer with the name rectangle. I'm just going to go ahead and double click my background and name this one rectangle. When I deselect my path by clicking under it, you can see I still do not have anything here. So I have to actually do something with my path to make something happen over here. Now I'm going to hover down at the bottom of my path palette where these little icons are. Hover over the very first one. I see it says fill path with foreground color. The next one says stroke path with brush. The next one says load path as a selection. We're going to skip the other two for now and look at this one, which is create new path. For now, what I'd like to do is fill my rectangle with a color. And notice it says fill path with foreground color. The foreground color is whatever color is in your toolbar at the top. So this is the foreground, and this is the background. So I can click on my foreground color, and I'm going to choose green, and click OK. Do this much, pause the video and do this much, and then come back. So now you have green set as your foreground color. You're in your rectangle layer and your rectangle path. Come down to the bottom and click the Fill Path with Foreground Color button. And notice it fills it with the green that is in your foreground. Now we want to stroke the path with a different color. So click on your foreground color and let's choose a dark blue and click OK. Pause the video and do this much and come back. Now remember, we still should be in our rectangle layer and our rectangle path. But when I click on stroke path with brush, I get something that I can barely see. That's because we actually have to click on the brush first. So I'm going to go up here and click on the brush. And then, oh, look how big my brush is. So when I click on stroke path, it's going to stroke it with that big blue brush. So pause the video, do this much, and come back. Obviously, if I want a smaller border, all I would have to do would be to change the size of my brush. So I can just undo this border by Command Z, right click, and choose a smaller size. I could even choose a funky size or brush if I wanted to. And then click on the rectangle path again and the stroke. Pause the video, do this much, and come back. So now I want to create a new path. So I'm going to create a new path by clicking the New Path button. And notice we still have a rectangle because we named it and saved it. Over here, we're going to go ahead and double click it and call this triangle. And we should actually spell it right. So pause the video, do this much, and come back.